good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining. My name is Josh Ingham. I'm Assistant Athletic Director at the University of St. Joseph, and I'm joined with three student athletes here from USJ. We're here to kind of just talk to everybody, see how everyone's doing. If everyone's kind of cooped up, but try to see how everyone's doing and talk a little bit about USJ and your guys' experiences here at USJ and all the good things that USJ has to offer. We have, for anyone who might not recognize these faces since you haven't seen them in a while, we have Alise Martel, a sophomore from the women's swimming and diving team, Ryan Asch, a sophomore from the men's soccer team, and Abigail Horner, a junior from the women's lacrosse team. All right, so just thanks, guys. Thank you all for joining me this afternoon. I guess first off, I guess we'll go ladies first. We'll start Alise and Abby. Alise, just talk a little bit about your journey here. You kind of have a little different story, I feel like, than anyone else. Maybe you're a sophomore, but really not a sophomore. You're the oldest sophomore in the GNAC. So talk a little bit about, I guess, your story, how you got to USJ. For anyone who might not know, Alise, you went to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you went to LaSalle for a year.
Yep.
And then came over to USJ, but kind of talk about the gap in between.
Took quite a gap in between.
Yeah.
So I graduated high school in 2014. So that makes me 23 right now. Not a usual number you would see for like a student athlete. So after high school, I went to LaSalle for a year. I ended up withdrawing after my first year because I was unsure of what I really wanted to do. I just felt like I was just kind of doing a major that I thought would be cool, but I didn't really see myself doing that for the rest of my life. So I ended up withdrawing and then essentially worked countless odd jobs for about 4 years until I kind of landed on nutrition and specifically the didactic program. So living in Connecticut, St. Joe's was like perfect for me. And it also just happened to be one of the best nutrition programs in the state, if not New England. So it was just kind of like a match made in heaven. So I ended up applying in 2018, I believe. And I came in as a sophomore credit-wise. So technically I'm a junior right now. But as far as like eligibility goes for athletics, I am technically kind of a sophomore because it's my second year. So I ended up getting accepted, and then I got into St. Joe's, and then I ended up meeting Coach Brenda Straker at like this like open house thing, and she just happened to hear that I was a swimmer in high school, and was like, "Oh, you should join the team! Like it'll be so much fun." And keeping in mind that I hadn't been in a pool competitively since high school, so that was like 4 years prior to. So I was like, "Oh, like I'll think about it." And she was really like on me because I had told her like, "Oh, I did this, like these were my times in high school," and she's like, we could really benefit you from joining the team. So I ended up joining because like just kind of like, why not? I'm like, I mean, I'm at the time I was 21, yeah, I think 21 or 22. And so I'm like, what do I have to lose? So I joined and I was hooked from day one. I immediately bonded with the kids on the team and with Brenda and the assistant coach at the time and the whole athletic department in general. I kind of entered school thinking like I would just come, do my work and leave, get my degree and kind of just like skate on by. But kind of being thrown into athletics, I'm so happy that I did because it was an immediate friend group and it's like my livelihood here at St. Joe's other than nutrition.
No, that's an awesome, kind of unique story. I think it worked out okay. I think Brenda worked out okay getting you.
Yeah. I like if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be on the team because she was kind of the one that drove me to like convince me to join, saying like, "Oh, it'll be fine if you're," because she didn't know like how fast I would be. And then I ended up coming in my first year and doing really, really well. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's a good thing I did.
Yeah, well, I'm sure she's definitely thrilled that you decided to come and not try out, but come and join the team,
Yeah.
and we'll get a little bit into your accomplishments in a little bit. But yeah, I think she's very reluctant that you're on the squad now.
Yeah.
Abby, how about you? Let's talk to us a little bit about your story and how you came to St. Joe's. You're from Niantic, so in state. Talk a little bit about your journey and your journey to the women's lacrosse team.
Yeah, sure. So kind of a hard to follow Alise's story, but I'll try.
Sorry.
So I graduated and came right to St. Joe's. I was not a star athlete in high school, so I didn't necessarily predict myself to be playing a college sport, but that's one of the beauties of St. Joe's is that you can still grow and develop into the athlete you want to be. So I came in and Erin was the coach the year before I came. So she talked to me. It's like, why don't you just come to practice? I went to practice and I was like, you know what? Like, I could do this. And immediately after my first few weeks of freshman year, the athletic department was my family. And it was a really nice, safe haven, great place to go all through all of the years up until now. And I just continued my journey on the lacrosse team sophomore year with Coach Fink, and then this year with Coach Nell. I also played soccer my freshman year, and I ran cross country this year. So it's really given me an opportunity to explore a lot of avenues within athletics, which is pretty great.
No, yeah, that's awesome. Talk a little bit about you have a unique situation that now that you've been at St. Joe's 3 coaches in 3 years. Obviously, and then even this year, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how the spring semester unfortunately got cut short. Talk a little bit about just the dynamic of that situation and having 3 coaches in 3 years. And, Coach Nell now, she seems like she's got a really good stronghold on the program, and, we're trending in a positive direction. Talk about those experiences a little bit.
Yeah, so definitely didn't anticipate having 3 coaches within 3 years of college athletics. I had a great coach my first year, Coach Mal. She really helped me with my confidence, my skill development. And then very grateful for Coach Fink stepping up, coaching women's lacrosse for the first time. And now moving on, now we're with Coach Nell, who's another phenomenal coach. I've been very lucky with 3 coaches to have 3 great coaches. I think that is extremely lucky. So now I have Coach Nell, and she's amazing. She has such a great education on the sport. Very approachable. I'm just so excited that I have another year with her. I'm really glad that this is a relationship I'm going to continue.
Yeah, no, we're really excited that she came on board. And I guess for those who maybe don't know, Coach Fink is our head men's lacrosse coach and kind of stopgap that transition between coaches. So again, like you said, we're very grateful for him. He seems like he's got a pretty good grasp of the men's lacrosse, especially on the GNAC landscape. So
Yeah,
definitely interesting times for you. But we're glad that women's lacrosse seems like it's going in the right direction.
yeah, definitely.
All right, Ryan, we're gonna head over to you. Again, another kind of unique situation. You're sophomore on the men's soccer team. You were one of the first males to ever step foot on campus here at the University of St. Joseph. Talk about your experience and your recruiting process and how you came to what was formerly an all-women's school, and you're kind of paving the way for males for the future of the University of St. Joseph.
Yeah, so actually going into senior year, being from out of state, I've never heard of St. Joe's. So I was looking at a bunch of different schools like locally in New York and just trying to stay closer to home. And so I had a couple college showcases with my club team. And one day I was just sitting in class in high school and I received this long message, and I look and it's a message from Coach Paul. He's introducing himself, telling me about how there's this great new opportunity, how the school, St. Joe's, is going co-ed. and that he's looking to start a men's soccer team. And then he saw me at the showcase, and he said he would love for me to come take a visit. This was probably around like November of senior year. And so within a couple of weeks, I was out there. I visited the school with coach, immediately fell in love. Looked like a great opportunity, especially being the first class of co-ed. I just wanted to jump on and be a part of a good team.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, Coach Wright really stepped up when he came on board, and really, as all of our men's coaches, built their teams from scratch essentially, and we've seen some great success. And I think it's really bolstered up our entire athletics department. Abby, on that same note, talk a little bit about, you're the only one here that was here when it was an all women's school.
Yeah.
Talk about that kind of transition and how you're a freshman as an all women's school, and now we've gone fully co-educational in the fall of 2018. How did you expect that? What is your gut reaction from that change?
Sure. So when I came in as a freshman, I came to an all-women school, and I know that there was chit chat about like going co-ed, but most of the consensus that from what I heard was like, oh, they'd never do that, it won't happen. And I was okay whether it happened or not, and when it did happen, I thought like, this is great. And I knew like working with athletics and talking with athletics, like the opportunities were going to be like phenomenal. It was very exciting. But it was also very much a change. I had a great opportunity because I got to meet a lot of the men's coaches before they had teams and develop some relationships with them, and see what recruiting was like from them, seeing all the hard work that they put in. And then it was even more incredible to then see these teams that, as you said, they developed essentially from scratch, and see them succeed. It's pretty cool to be a part of, to see what we were to what we are now, and where we could go from here.
Yeah, definitely a unique situation for not only you, but kind of really everybody. You're all part of this brand new tradition and brand new, culture that the university's, trying to build. Alise, anything to add? You're with swimming and diving, your team's pretty much co-ed. You guys are separate teams, but you go to all the meets together, you travel together. You guys really are one team. Talk a little bit about your experiences with co-ed and a men's and women's swimming and diving team.
Well, so I had come in with all the boys, so I never really knew it as an all-girls team. But from hearing from the girls, the seniors at the time, they had no issues with the boys coming in, because seeing as how we practiced together in the same pool, in the same lanes, having boys in the same lane as us kind of motivated us and pushed us, because now we're not pacing with ourselves or the other girls or the clock. Now we're actually pacing with like boys that are faster than us. So it was fun for them. I mean, I always swim against and with boys, so it was kind of normal for me, but it definitely made an impact for them. And I know that it's like now, after a couple of years of boys being here, it's made a huge impact on our sport and our team at USJ, because now we have boys that are qualifying for like bigger events and even winning GNAC and New England titles. So I think it was awesome that they went co-ed and brought the boys in as far as like athletics. I'm sure having boys in classrooms is great too.
I don't know. I feel everyone agrees with that.
No, I mean, I have no problem with it.
All right, Ryan, I'm going to jump back over to you. Just we'll transition and kind of just talking about this year. I mean, all you guys, I guess, maybe except for Abby, just because of the way the season kind of got cut short, but really successful, not only on the field or court, but off also. Ryan, you guys are just finished year 2 as part of the men's soccer program. You've combined record of 29-3 or 20-11-3. Really unprecedented success. I don't think anyone really expected that. I know a lot of the people in the GNAC didn't expect that. Made the playoffs both years, end up winning the GNAC quarterfinal game this year against Albertus Magnus. Talk a little bit about the year. A really successful year, double-digit win season. Coach Wright seems like he's really got the ship going in the right direction.
Yeah, Coach did a great job recruiting. He just basically built a family with us, and he got us to believe in ourselves, and we believed in him, and so that just really started from there. Obviously, last year we were predicted to finish last in the conference, and then we got the 6th seed. We had a really good season last year, but this season we just kind of took it up another level with the incoming freshmen as well as the established team. They did really well. I think we finished 4th this year. We hosted the playoff game, so we're obviously looking for that step forward, making it to the final and eventually winning it. But I think as of now, for a 2-year team, we're doing really well and we're really enjoying ourselves. We're looking forward to the next couple of years.
Yeah, that first playoff game against Albertus Magnus was the first men's playoff game ever in USJ history. A crazy game. Mikey Torres scores with 57 seconds left. Place went absolutely crazy. Talk a little bit about that game and just the atmosphere and, the first kind of playoff atmosphere outside on the brand new turf field. It was awesome to be a part of. I could only imagine, playing.
Yeah, it was amazing. Obviously, hosting a playoff game is always going to be excitement. And actually, they were our last regular season game. So we played them earlier in the week. We beat them. And so obviously that's going to give them extra motivation, them being our in-state rival. And so it was a really intense game, went back and forth. But at the end, Mikey pulled up with a great finish and just felt amazing to win the first home playoff game ever.
Yeah, it was a crazy goal. Definitely one that'll be remembered and will be remembered for a while. We'll hop over back to Alise. Women's swimming and diving, men's swimming and diving, both really successful this year in the pool. You individually really successful in the pool, broke a couple more records, got your name up on that board in a couple more spots. Talk about your season a little bit. You guys finished 6th at the GNAC championships, go on to the New England championships, have the highest finish ever at USJ history at the New England championships. You were named all New England, all GNAC. It could go on and on about some of your accomplishments, but give us a wrap up, I guess, of the 2019-20 swimming and diving season.
Well, we first got a great group of kids for recruits this year, both men's and women's teams. So that definitely helped us, help push us a little higher in the ratings for both GNACs and New England's. Overall, I think every single swimmer broke their own individual records and got personal best, which was awesome. I'm trying to think of compared to last year, I don't remember what the statistics were, but I know that both men's and women's, we both got higher. And personally, I feel like this team this year has been really great at motivating each other. Our team camaraderie is just the best it's ever been, even though I've only been here 2 years. But it's been great. For me personally, this was a year better than last year. My times got way better somehow, which is, it's kind of daunting, because they post your age on the heat sheets, and I'm swimming against 18 and 19-year-olds, and then there's a 23-year-old. So it's oh, great. But it's nice when you come up first in the heat or top 5, and so it's great. And it's great to get it's great to get new records and personal records, and we got a lot of relay records, so it's not just me individually, it's me and my teammates. So that's awesome, and it's fun to celebrate those accomplishments.
Yeah, one of those relay records had stood for 11 years. I'm not sure if you knew that one, but yeah, the 11-year record, the 400 free relay that you guys broke at New England.
And we didn't even know that we were close to it. We had touched the wall and we're oh yeah, great job, guys. And then Brenda was screaming from the center. Like, you guys broke the record. We're like, what? It was awesome.
That is awesome. And then, you beat Eastern this year. One of the games or one of the meets that you guys circle on the calendar every year. First time that you've done that since 1997.
Yeah.
So definitely a huge.
That was a very, very exciting meet. It was close, like almost the whole time. And Brenda tried to keep it hush hush, like, because she was tallying the points per race and trying to manage and stay on top of the scores. And she tried not to tell us because it would put more pressure on us. She just told us, like, doesn't matter how fast or slow you go, just race, like, just race the person next to you. And that's what we did. And it was awesome.
Yeah, it was an awesome meet. Abby,
Yes.
a unique situation. Obviously a tough situation for all the spring athletes. And it really stinks. You guys were off to such a great start. Started 2-1. Beat up on Bay Path in the season opener at home. Then go up to Maine and lose a really close one to Maine Farmington, and then bounce back the next day with a win over Thomas. Just to describe, I guess, your experience for those 3 games. I mean, you guys were all really building up for this year and really hyped up for this year. And then go into just obviously the heartbreak of, having to unfortunately end the season a little earlier than you expected.
Yeah, it was hard. Starting off with Bay Path was amazing. We had a really long, like, preseason, like, practicing. And it was all, like, building up to that. And we really showed, I think, a lot of people the new team that we are. And then traveling to Maine was really exciting. Like you said, heartbreaker against Maine Farmington, but we put it all out there. And that's when really, like, a lot of talk was going, like, about what's going to happen with the season. And right before the game against Thomas, Coach Nell pulled me over and was kind of like, you guys got to play like this is your last game in the season, because it might be. And I was really just taking it as motivation, like we got to put it all out there. Like I said, we get in a circle before the game, and I was just saying, like, this might be our last game. I didn't really believe it. I just like, this is great motivation. Like, we got to play like it's going to be our last game. And then we find out that it was our last game, which was heartbreaking. Sorry. Yeah, so it was really hard. I will say that I am very grateful to have another year after this. I can't imagine if it was my senior year. But we put it all out there. Like you said, it's tough. We were out to a really, like, one of the best starts of the season that I've had in my 3 years. And I think we really are going to show a lot of people who we became. Yeah, it's hard.
You mentioned the kind of a new identity for the women's lacrosse team under Coach Nell. You mentioned the Bay Path game. I think you guys had 7 assists or 8 assists, the most assists in a game since, I believe, 2013 against Daniel Webster. You guys are really sharing the ball early. You could just tell from the first couple games. The passing looked really crisp to start the year. What are, I guess, some of the things that Coach Nell preaches and you were working on, to be so successful throughout those first 3 games this year?
Yeah, so something that Coach Nell really preaches that I appreciate is that we are not going to be a team with a star player who scores all our goals. And I think you really saw that in the Bay Path game. More than one player had 4 goals. We really showed that we share the ball, we work together. It's not just about picking the ball up and running down the field by yourself and scoring. And we practice what we preach. It's not just about developing one person, it's developing the team as a whole. the drills we would do focus on everything, everyone practice everything. We did capitalize on the skills that we had, but it wasn't just one person, and she really just pushes us all to be our best, and that's, I think, exactly what you saw during the Bay Path game. We definitely were nervous, and she called timeout pretty early and was like, what's going on? This is not who we are. But we picked it up and we remembered who we were, who we developed to be, and we showed that teamwork, and it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, it was, as unfortunate it was to end it early, we were really excited for the women's lacrosse season, especially after the really strong start. I guess I'll open up the next question to kind of everybody. Maybe we could start with Ryan, and we talked a little bit about why you guys and how you guys got to USJ. Maybe, you guys know it's Division III week. Touch a little bit on, why you guys chose Division III, and, some of the benefits that Division III offers for the student athlete.
Yeah, so I just chose Division III just because I knew that it was going to give me a lot more time to balance like my responsibilities. Obviously, it's always going to be intense, just being a student athlete in general, but it does give you a little bit more leeway, and it just gives you it gave me the opportunity to play the sport that I truly loved, and it just is a great opportunity.
Alise, anything to add about why D3?
I don't know, Ryan, I think you said it pretty well. It's like it's demanding, but it's not as demanding as like a D1 school. So it does give you the chance to kind of focus on schoolwork and having a job or any kind of other responsibilities, but it's still a sport, and there's still, I find that in D3, regardless of like just your conference, there's still room to grow. There's still outside conferences that you can qualify for. So it's a perfect starting platform, I would say, just to kind of like figure out how to balance like sports and college, really. Yeah.
Abby, you and Ryan both are part of SAC, and both went to Boston last year for the GNEC SAC Council. Abby,
Yeah.
anything to touch on, why D3 and maybe a little bit about SAC?
Yeah, sure. So going off of what Alise and Ryan said, Division III offers a lot of opportunities for me to grow as an individual. The biggest thing for me is I'm a student athlete, keyword student. I came to college for my degree, and everyone in athletics understands, respects, and encourages that. Division III really offers the opportunity to grow in so many domains. St. Joe's uniquely also offers the great opportunities to try new things. As I mentioned before, I played soccer my freshman year, lacrosse all 3 years, cross country this year. I've really been able to dabble in a lot of different sports, and just offers great opportunities, and also just great opportunities to meet people like you. I think we all as athletes know we are a certain breed. We're competitive, passionate people, and we get to be a part of teams and families like that. And with SAC, that's another opportunity to be with people like that. The GNEC SAC in Boston is one of my favorite things of the year. SAC is something that I joined sophomore year, when it didn't exactly exist to its full capacity, and that's something that we're still working on. But SAC is a platform for the student athletes, and we're really building on involvement and things we can do as a family.
All right, that's great. And I guess I misspoke. All three of you guys are members of SAC. I didn't want to exclude you, Alise, but Ryan.
Well, I mean, I'm not on e-board. I'm just like a general member. So
Ryan,
just as important.
Thank you.
For anyone who might not know, Ryan is our SAC president, and Abby is our SAC secretary. So if anyone's interested in and isn't a member of SAC, be sure to reach out to Ryan. We'll plug you a little bit, Ryan.
Certainly love that.
All right, enough of the hard-hitting questions. We'll wrap up the interview with just maybe some fun things. What are you guys doing to stay entertained? Any good Netflix shows? What are you guys doing to stay busy?
Are you gonna call on someone?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead, Alise.
Well, I'm still really busy with like schoolwork and stuff. But on my free time, I hang out with my parents a lot. My mom and I are both certified fitness instructors, so we've been working out and trying to stay as active as we can, just to kind of alleviate any kind of stress from like doing online work and working from home. I've been painting a bunch. I've been FaceTiming a lot, and I surprisingly have not been watching too much Netflix. I did watch Tiger King, all of it. But my family and I, we really like the Game Show Network, so we've been watching a lot of like Family Feud and Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
All right. Well, you have to, I'm going to give you a task. You have to paint us a Blue Jay and we'll feature it.
Oh.
See, maybe you could paint us a new mascot. We'll see how that goes.
Maybe.
And I think I might be the only one on the planet who hasn't fully watched Tiger King yet, but you may not.
I'm with you, Josh. I haven't watched it either.
We'll have to maybe Zoom call again and watch it together.
All right.
Ryan, how about you? What are you doing to stay busy and pass the time?
Yeah, so it's been a lot of schoolwork, but I've been actually working a lot at Starbucks. We're still open, getting coffee to all the essential workers, so that's been a lot of my time. But a lot of FaceTiming friends from school. I miss them a lot, so definitely spent a lot of time on FaceTime. But playing FIFA, working out, doing them as much as we could do at home, and just hanging with the family. It's been obviously being kind of far from home. I don't see them as much during the year, and so it's been really nice being home and spending some more time with them.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, for those who might not know, Ryan actually after this call, he's got to go and go to work at Starbucks. So stay safe, Ryan. Make sure you maintain your social distancing. But we appreciate you're out there helping the front people on the front line.
Thank you.
Abby, how about you?
Yeah, so I actually came back to a full house. So I have 3 siblings, and we are all here. We range from 25 to 18. And I cannot remember the last time we all lived together. So it's been an adventure. A lot of spike ball tournaments, a lot of card playing, things like that. I also like to get out of the full house. So I've done a lot of biking. I have actually started mountain biking. And yeah, definitely a lot of Netflix too. But not Tiger King, at least not yet.
What's your show right now? What are you watching?
Right now I'm watching The Ranch.
Right.
With Asch and Kutcher?
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what I'm on right now.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate all you guys for joining me. That was a lot of fun. It's always good to just see your guys' faces, and on behalf of the USJ Athletics Department, we definitely all really miss you. Talk to Amanda and our admin team, regularly, and that's definitely the thing that is kind of hurts us the most is we miss seeing you guys and interacting with you guys, and obviously we miss the games and seeing you guys compete, but we also miss just seeing your guys' face every day and being able to see you. Again, thank you all. Really appreciate it, and stay safe, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.